Well, due to windy conditions outside, we couldn't do this outside in front of the Barnes Bank, so thank you for coming here into this space with us. It's important that you are able to hear and record what we are saying about this, because it truly is a very unique project and one that we are very excited about. Earlier today, at my staff meeting, a group of women from House of Hope, a treatment center that participated in this year's Operation Diversion, came to sing for our office. This unique choir was comprised of women who have been receiving help at House of Hope for varying amounts of time, including a few days, and I'm told included some women who found their way to House of Hope through Operation Diversion. At that time, these women would have passed through this building, the Barnes Bank building that you see before you. And it is here they would have been given a choice for a new path forward. For so many, a few months ago, Barnes Bank was a place where there was opportunity to start up a new life. It was also the epicenter for a very unique and collaborative program, which demonstrated how we can work together to change the dynamics on a problem we have faced for decades. Today, we are launching another unique project here at the site of the old Barnes Bank. This innovative project at 320 East, 400 South will provide residents and businesses with the opportunity to start up in Salt Lake City. This 2.3-acre mixed-use development will be anchored in long-term solutions to address the need for more affordable housing. A minimum of 40 micro-unit apartments which are efficient, well-designed, and offer the best of urban living, will provide individuals making less than $20,000 a year the opportunity to find a level of stability in their living situation. These are individuals making less than $10 an hour, often working multiple jobs, where a missed shift or an illness can be the difference between the housing that they have and homelessness in our tight and increasingly expensive housing market. In addition to these unique units, at least 20% of the traditional 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartments will be for individuals and families at 60% of area median income. For a family of 4, this is less than $44,000 of annual income. These are families who spend half or more of their combined incomes on housing. Because this project is in the heart of the urban area transit corridor, 320 East, 400 South will also include an active ground level with retail and commercial space. In keeping with the startup philosophy of this innovative project, the ground level retail will include space to support new businesses grown out of at least 3,000 square feet of business incubator space, which will also be included in this project. This incubator space will provide another prime economic development opportunity for our great city. Today, we are seeking a partner with a vision as bold and innovative as ours to help make 320 East, 400 South a reality. Salt Lake City wants to be your partner. In every sense of the word, we want and understand the important roles collaboration and innovation will play in our efforts to address the affordable housing crisis in Salt Lake City. Affordable housing is about more than numbers. It is about our community. Affordable housing is about more than simply creating space. It's about creating places people want to live. Over the last year, driven by the vision of finding opportunity to create spaces which are safe, secure, enrich lives and communities, my administration's team at Housing and Neighborhood Development and the RDA have been working together to build Salt Lake City's first housing plan since 2000. This plan will be released to the public in just about 2 weeks. It will focus on reforming city practices, amplifying options for housing opportunities, and building a more equitable housing market. We are focused on the life cycle of neighborhoods, committed to collaboration and working with the knowledge that our plan must come with long-term and sustainable funding options. To build a city where everyone can live, we must align resources to create areas of opportunity, areas not unlike what we envision on this location. Affordable housing is a priority for both my administration and the City Council. Affordable housing is central to our plans to prevent and reduce homelessness in this city and across the state. With that focus, I am confident affordable housing is also a priority of the county and state who have invested so much to ensure a new model will be successful. We are coming together like never before to address these tough issues, and together we can get this right. And for all of you who are concerned about where to get your beans and brew coffee, the Salt Lake Roasting Company, an institution in our city, will be moving just 5 blocks east to 820 East, 400 South. They hope to be up and running by the end of February, so make sure you continue to support them. I'm going to turn the time over to Derek.
Thank you. Good morning. It's great to be here today. You know, it really is a new day in Salt Lake City when we can have a press conference for a housing project and see 30 plus people show up. And I think that illustrates the growing awareness in our community of how incredibly important housing is when we talk about some of our most pressing citywide issues, including homelessness. So I'm really grateful that the mayor has led out with this innovative housing strategy for the Barnes Bank building across the way here. I think this is an incredible opportunity for Salt Lake City to continue to lead out, not only in the state of Utah, but nationwide on innovation and creativity. You know, this is one of 3 main properties in District 4 that the city currently owns. The old public safety building, the Barnes Bank building here, and 8.5 acres of property over in the Granary District called the Fleet Block. These individual properties ought to be leveraged for affordable housing, and that's exactly what this mayor is doing right now. So I'm here eager to support her. We as a council are prioritizing affordable housing in 2016. That will be at the top of our priority list in 2017 and in future years as well. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to seeing this project come to fruition.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Ackerlow. I am the Deputy Director of Community and Neighborhoods, formerly the Director of Housing and Neighborhood Development. So playing a little bit of 2 roles today. Each day, this beautiful and exciting city holds significant promise. The promise of opportunity. Children can go to school to learn and have their eyes open to the wonders that surround them. Local business owners roll up their sleeves, determined to make today even better than the day before. Others head into the office to tackle the challenges of the next big deal. For many, opportunities for growth, excitement, challenge, and success abound without much hesitation. But we also know that there are many others, that for many others, the brightness of the rising sun only means it is going to be another day of struggling to survive, to provide, or to keep their head up high. There are too many people in this great city who are being left behind, who don't enjoy the same promise of opportunity. They need a place to land and feel secure so that they can start experiencing their own paths to success. Over the past few weeks, 4 new resource centers for those experiencing homelessness have been announced, including a new service model. This is a great collaboration between the city, the county, and the state, and has resulted in a new model for the physical structure of the resource centers and the way that services will be deployed. It is a culmination of best practices seen throughout the country and the result of hours of discussions from those who understand and serve this population each and every day. Part of this new homeless service model is to provide housing. The county has launched their Pay for Success program targeted to provide housing assistance for those who are homeless. The city is also doing its part and is dedicated to provide not only housing assistance, but the actual homes. Places like this are what make the service model complete. We are witnessing a bit of a residential renaissance on 400 South, with 2 recently completed buildings and others in construction. However, very little of this new housing includes units that are affordable, which is why this project is so important. Within the next few years, this site will be a place where people of all incomes and backgrounds can live together, where people can start a business, that one may day even employ those who call this place home. As part of the city's Innovation Lab and central to the 4th South TOD, this project, is the development of a minimum of 40 micro units. As the mayor mentioned, these units will be about 250 to 400 square feet, but will include kitchen, bathroom, and furniture systems that can be used for a number of purposes. And thanks to a subsidy from the Redevelopment Agency, these units can be leased for around $500 a month, a perfect place for those who are making $20,000 or less a year. For those of you who are interested in responding to this request for proposals, be innovative and thoughtful with attention paid to great design and good use of building materials. Make this a place that people are proud to call home. In addition to the micro units, 20% of the remaining units must be affordable to individuals making $30,000 or less and families making $44,000 or less a year. The remaining units may be leased at market rates. Active ground floor use is also a requirement of the development, and as part of that, the city is requiring that a portion be dedicated to a business incubator. This space will not only include meeting rooms, desk space, and other tools needed to start a business, but a minimum of 500 square feet is required for incubator retail space, a perfect opportunity for someone with a great idea and the drive to make it happen. So envision with me for a moment what this place will be like in a few years. A place where people get a new start, whether it is finding a secure and safe place to live or a place to make their business dreams a reality. It will change the lives of many, and soon they too will be able to open their eyes each morning to a day of opportunity. I encourage you to visit the housing website at slcgov.com/hand or call Todd Reeder at 801-535-7115 to find out how to get a copy of the RFP. You can also meet with Matt Dahl and Todd after this meeting, and they can hand those out to you and give you more information. Please be a part of something amazing, something that will make this city a place for everyone.
Thank you. My name is Justin Beliveau. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Redevelopment Agency, and just wanted to share my perspective on why it is that we're so thrilled to be a part of this project. Really because it showcases for me the way in which the RDA can be used to support 2 very complementary priorities of the cities: affordable housing and economic development. You heard Mayor Biskupski and Councilmember Kitchen and Mike describe the level of affordability that this project will provide, and we're pleased to be a part of that project. We know that it's been a longstanding priority of the cities, but a particular priority this year of this council and this mayor to support the development of affordable housing. And so first and foremost, we understand the need, and we're very pleased to be a part of developing a solution for providing affordable housing in our city. And I think most importantly, to augment that, it's the way in which we're supporting affordable housing that has us so enthusiastic about this project. As Mike mentioned, the elements of this project, including business incubation, other ranges of affordability throughout the project, innovative housing types, and then obviously the location. This is a natural progression in the pattern of development that we as a community envisioned with the installation of the Trax line on 400 South. So to be a part of a project that provides economic opportunities opportunities for affordable housing in close proximity to transit and also to our downtown business center really touches on all the priorities of the RDAs, and we're very pleased to be a part of this project.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
What's the incentive? What would be the positive reason for a developer to come in and work with you guys to build this? I mean, what's the economic benefit for this whole thing?
So that hasn't been completely determined, but the city wants to be a partner in this. So there's different tools that we can use. Obviously, the RDA's contribution will be of assistance. The city can also lease land or discount land after going through a process, so that will be some incentive and help to provide that subsidy for those affordable units.
How will you be selecting the winning proposal?
We are asking for people to respond to the RFP. That packet, I'm not sure the deadline on that. Matt, what's the deadline? April 10th, so people have till April 10th to respond. Once those responses come in, they'll be evaluated by the team, and then a selection committee will come together to review those, interview the developers, and then make a recommendation to the mayor, and the mayor will make that final decision.
And then how much money could a developer end up receiving for this project? You said you hadn't worked that out yet?
We still need to look at that. We would, obviously, some of that needs to come from a discussion with the city council, but also with the RDA and what they can contribute.
Mayor, could you sort of elaborate why you think it's so important to provide housing in the income ranges that you just described? Why do you think that's so important?
Well, I think as Mr. Ackerlow was explaining, is there are a number of developments that were underway before I became mayor on 4th South that have no affordable housing included in them. And for me and for the council, we don't want to see that anymore. We really want to find every opportunity to include affordable housing in projects and figure out how we as a city can partner to make sure that that happens. And what we're finding is there are developers as well as even our partners in the banking industry who want to participate in that also. And that's a very good sign for us as a community.
Why do you think it's so important for the people who would live there?
You know, people are cost burdened with housing in Salt Lake City. Over 50% of the people who live here are cost burdened. And that can create a very tenuous situation for people who may have a medical crisis, and due to a medical crisis or loss of employment could lose their housing very quickly. And we want to make sure that we are creating a safety net so that that isn't the end result of an unexpected circumstance in an individual or a family's life.
Mayor?
Sure.
Can you give me an idea, or one of the value of the existing Barnes Bank building and keeping that as part of this development and an adaptive reuse component, or in terms of are you guys really looking at this as that's going to be torn down and in order to maximize the efficiencies of the site of new development?
I'm going to hold off on giving you a value because I'm not sure I know what that is exactly. Matt might be able to answer.
Not the monetary value.
Just give me the building.
Do we want to keep it, don't we?
Redevelop the existing Barnes Bank building more greatly.
You know, I think we're in our discussions, we've been really open to both. Certainly, we know the condition of the Barnes Bank building, and it would require some work, some seismic repairs to make it a place where people could live. But that certainly isn't off the table. So, really depends on these proposals that come in, and if it's a good use and it fits in, and we can get what we need here and see that variety of incomes, it's certainly worth consideration.
I'm curious if, because I'm new, but the Housing Innovation Lab, have you done any other projects of this kind? Is this the first?
The Housing Innovation Lab was launched this summer, past summer, when we opened the Emery home, which is on that banner. That was our passive affordable home. By launching that lab, we've done a number of other things. We have out right now We did a competition for some single-family lots and had responses to those, and those will be announced shortly. The micro units are part of that. We're also working with the University of Utah and their architecture department to design some affordable homes, and their students will be involved in the production of those homes. So we are seeing a lot of good things coming out of the Innovation Lab, and I think what's exciting about that is we're going to see some new and very creative and forward-thinking housing development in our city.
Yeah, and in that housing component piece that he's talking about is very unique energy-wise systems that have been developed. And so this particular home is incredibly penny-wise when it comes to energy. And it's that kind of activity that we want to show the construction industry that you really can build affordable homes and housing through some very innovative paths forward and be green all at the same time. So it's exciting stuff.
Micah, just to touch on your point, I think what the city is envisioning when we talk about housing and innovation is if you look at this parcel right here, if you can move really quick, look how large that is. It's split by a street, obviously, but that's a large piece of land to work with. And so whether we're talking about scraping it or starting or, creating some sort of adaptive reuse model, what we want to see is innovation, not only in design and construction materials, but in financing as well. And the way that you come to the table with potential financiers that can get us to the maximum level of affordability. As the mayor mentioned, we have a huge deficit in affordable housing in our city right now, and our goal as local leaders is to fill that gap as quickly as possible and stay ahead of the growth curve in our city, which is growing quite fast. And so when we talk about affordable housing, it's much more than just addressing homelessness or people at the very lowest end of our economic spectrum. Everybody in our city needs access to affordable housing. And so if somebody's spending more than 30%, which as the mayor just said, about 50% or more of our residents are spending 30% or more of their income on housing, then we have a real problem on our hands. And so we want to get the most affordability out of this as possible. So if you're thinking about putting in a proposal, then look at innovation first.
Very good.
What can you say about the affordable housing plan that will be coming out in 2 weeks?
Not much. Because in 2 weeks, we'll be finalizing a couple of the key points in there. Otherwise, we might be doing it today. But I hope you'll attend that. I think what people will learn is that we have put in a great deal of thought in how we are going to come after this and try to resolve some of the issues we face with housing. And then there's more to come even beyond that we're currently working on beyond our borders with the state and the county as well. So, and if you want to say anything, you're welcome to. But okay.
Would that include lobbying or trying to get some kind of legislative effort for affordable housing impact fee in the next session or sessions to come?
That's not part of what we have been discussing. Thanks. Sure.
As the mayor mentioned in her speech today, there is need for a significant and sustainable funding source. And we had a finance working group convened last year that looked at that and made some recommendations, which the mayor has considered. This is something that is complicated. It may require some change in legislation, but no decisions have been made, and we're still exploring those options and hope to see something in the near future.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone again for coming today, and if you still have individual questions for any of us, we're happy to answer those. Thanks again.